Hey YouTube, this is Lorelia coming to you with a message regarding what my title says about you being rich or poor is determined by the age of 7 years old. So, what do I mean by that? I was recently, and you can actually look this up here on YouTube. I was listening to Bruce Lipton. He is a scientist. He created, or I believe is the creator of epigenetics. And without boring you with the science of what it is that he do, look him up on YouTube. His name is Bruce Lipton. And basically, there's a lot of videos, but there was one particular video that he did where he was interviewed by the London Real. It's a podcast. And he talked about your programming. And that's why I said I titled this video that by the age of 7 years old will determine if you will be rich or poor. And what do I mean by that? I see there's a few people on, so give me a second, because I want to be able to share this with you. And if you're open to studying this information, you will have a lot of aha moments. So many people have said that, what I share with them, what I teach them, um, it appears it's a scam. Now, of course, information is in the eye of the beholder. There are people who have raved and have gotten results by the information that I have provided for them to them in the areas of credit and debt elimination. And there's a group of people who just feel like, everything's a scam. You providing free information is a scam. So with that being said, I'm at a place now professionally where I understand when individuals will have their guard up when it comes to the conversation of money. And the reason why I say that is that you can always tell the programming that a person has gotten about when you bring up the conversation of money and they tense up. Have you ever met someone, and maybe it can even be you? That's why I said you have to be open enough to recognize some things in order to see where I'm coming from, or even, take into account what Bruce Lipton is talking about. You have conversations about money, you're talking about money to a particular person, and they totally tense up, they get really defensive, they start flaring their nose, bucking their eyes, whatever the case may be. Their guard is totally up. And like I said, I'm at a place professionally, I know where that comes from, and that's what Bruce Lipton was talking about. And he talked about that when a child is born, and if you have ever had a child, whether you are, or if you're a woman, or maybe you've had sisters and brothers, and you may have not had children, but you may have remembered when your mom had children, or maybe even you're a male and you remember when your wife may have had children, or your girlfriend, or what have you, or fiance. And he talked about that when that child is born, it will take on the environment, the mannerisms, everything around them. They will take all that in. And by the age of 7, without me going into the science of everything, because you can listen to him with that, by the age of 7, any programming that he or she may have witnessed, may have been in the environment of, may have even seen, will stay with them at the age of 7. Okay, well, that may be it. I know, Wealthy Candle says something about that at the age of 7, he or she did not know that they had to wait to 16 to get a job. I want to touch on that. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. It goes back to your programming. Give me a second here. Hey, how you doing, Neva World? Give me a second here. Wealthy to Candle said that based on the programming that he or she may have had, because I'm not sure if it's male or female, that they had to wait till they got to the age of 16 to get a job. They didn't know that at 7. Goes back to programming and what you are around. My son, well, now he's 12, but by the age of 11, he had got to a point. Oh, okay. Hey, Tanisha. Hey, how you doing? Um, and so by the age of, he was 11, he got to a point where he wanted to earn his money. And although he was doing the little things, hey, how you okay? Neva World, you all give me a second. He got to a point where he wanted to make more money. Now, I had introduced him to entrepreneurship because I told him that, and goes back to the programming. So since I had always knew that his money habits and his financial blueprint will be based on what he observed in our home and what he is witness to in his environment, which of course is my environment because I am his mother, I had to teach him that money came from people. Although many people, the large majority of individuals, believe that money comes from a job. So many of us have been conditioned that if we want money, we have to get a job. Like someone has to hire us. Someone has to tell us this is how much money you're going to be paid. They put a price tag on what you're worth. And then they say, okay, you're worth $20 an hour. And since you are worth this, this is how much I think you're worth. And these are how many hours I'm going to give you per week. And boom, that's how you get money. That's how majority of the world believes that that's how money is created. If you want money, you get a job. Like I said, as I grew up as a professional and an entrepreneur, then had kids and really started to study this and just being a business owner, I knew that money came from people. And I always explained to him that if you serve people, whatever that case may be, you being in business, that is how you earn money. You think about any business out there, whether it's big Fortune 500 companies or little small and pop people or online marketers like myself, we serve people. And as we serve people in exchange to the serving of people, they pay us. Going back to what Wealthy to Candle said about earning money at 16, I started telling my son that at 11, and I'm glad you're saying this is powerful. At 11, that I told him money came from people. Right now, you can go right on the online marketplace and present your skills to the market and be able to get compensated. And I started introducing him to sites called Fiverr. I know that my son is very artistic. He likes to do little graphic work and this, that, and the other. I know myself being a business owner. I have hired people and went on Fiverr and had little odd jobs done for me. I don't know who the people are. I don't know if they are children, if they are grown-ups, if it's a man, if it's a woman, or what have you. All I know is I need this particular job done. This person says they can do it. I'm reading their reviews. They seem like they're okay. I hire them. I told my son, I said, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the marketplace. And since you're good at graphic work, we're going to create you an account on Fiverr saying that you do graphic work. And then in exchange of you doing a good job for a person, because you got to do good work because you want reviews, people in exchange will pay you. Voila. Goes back to what you are around, your environment. I'm teaching my son that at the age of 11, you can go right to the online marketplace, present your skills, and someone will pay you. That is not tied to waiting till you're 16 and waiting for someone to say, and I'm glad you said that. So Wealthy to Candle, said that she's only been around minimum wage conversations or ways of earn money. And it goes back to what I said about what Bruce Lipton said, our programming. And if you have only been programmed that the only way that you make money is that you have to exchange hours for dollars, when someone comes to you like myself and tell you, hey, there's a different way of earning money, your red flags go up. Because, like he said, you have what is called your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. There are lots of information on this topic. Bruce Lipton is not the only one who talks about it, but he really brings up well, you know what? And I'm glad that you're proving them wrong, because you're speaking wealth to yourself, because you already have the YouTube name Wealthy to Candle. So you already know that you are worth more than McDonald's. But with that being said, you have what's called the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is always working. So going back to that 7-year-old child who, you know, has been programmed with a whole bunch of information in terms of what they're hearing in the household, what their environment is like, what they're seeing. They are already being programmed. So that's it. So imagine your programming is already set in place at 7. In order for you to change that programming, because yes, it can change, because a person may wonder, well, am I doomed? Am I duped? And I'm glad you just said that you can't remember at 7. That is why the subconscious mind is so powerful. It is always working. What you are referring to is that you're referring to your conscious mind. Your conscious mind can't remember at 7, but your subconscious mind is always working. It's always working. So although you can't remember who your teacher was in 7th grade, who were some of your best friends, and especially if you've experienced some kind of trauma, there may be a lot of memories that you can't remember, but you best to believe your subconscious mind have filed all that information away and have put it into a memory bank in your brain. So going back to what I said about Bruce Lipton and talking about your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, whenever someone brings up a different conversation in regards to earning money or in regards to credit or what have you, and it is different than what is being programmed in your brain tries to protect you and tell you, oh, no, 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 no. That's not the programming. That's not the programming here in your brain. So what we have to do is we have to protect you. And that is why people will say, because that's why I said, I don't take it personal when people say, oh, that's a scam. What you're talking about is a scam, because they have been programmed that there's a certain way of earning money. Many people believe you work hard for the money. So many people believe that if you're not exerting energy, if you're not exchanging hours for dollars, if someone is not putting a price tag on what you're worth, and you go to the marketplace and say, this is what I'm worth, and this is what I want to be paid. Nah, that don't sound like what 97% of people believe about themselves. So then it becomes to be a scam. The same way when I talk about the conversation of credit. Many people really believe, well, if it's really that easy, then why aren't there more people who are getting results? Because of your programming. You have been programmed. Yeah, that's a really good book. Millionaire Fastlane. Yep, very good book. Actually, I'm glad you reminded me of that book, because I need to refer back to it. It's been a minute since I've read it, but that's a very good book. But going back to what I was saying about credit, you know, many people feel like that if the information, no, you're not the only one who's heard of it. And you just said you have a subscription, so you know on his website. I haven't been on there for years, but I know when I first read that book of MJ DeMarco, I remember going on the website. It had to be around 2012, 2013. I can't remember. And he used to have an online forum where there were other people who had discovered his teachings and wanted to put in place a lot of what he was talking about. And so what happens is you're in a community with people who are having that same aha moment as you, Wealthy to Candle. So no, there are um, what anyone who tells me learning finance is a waste of time. You know what? It went away so quick, but I'm confused. Are they telling you that it's a waste of time? Because let me just touch on that. Um, no one can ever say that something is a waste of time if it is something that you are interested in or it is part of the vision that you have for your life. Let me just kind of pivot on what I was saying. Last weekend, I had the opportunity to go to a conference. I talk a lot on this channel about credit. I'm beginning to talk a lot about real estate. Well, you gotta go get that. Going back to, I know if anybody watches this video, you wondering like I'm touching on so many things, but I want to touch on that. Wealthy the Candle said that online forum that she's a part of, they're saying that you're supposed to be poor and humble, and it's so funny. It's interesting that you say that because I just posted a social media meme that I found on Instagram, and it said being humble does not mean that you have to be broke. Are there levels to humility? Yes, it is. Sure, people can point to scripture, biblical scripture about humility. They can also point to, biblical scripture about, oh, she was saying that's her friends and family. Well, it goes back to what I was saying. um good job, Nevia. It goes back to what I was just saying about the programming, because many of your friends and family have been programmed a certain way when it comes to money. And so when you try to add a new program into your brain, and it goes back to what I was touching on before, you have to, in order to rewire yourself in your brain, you got to get rid of all that other bad stuff, because since the subconscious is always working, it's always working. So just like Wealthy to Candle said, she don't remember what happened at 7, but you best to believe the subconscious remembers. The subconscious remembers, and it is always going. But I would just want to touch on this. And it was a reason why I was bringing it up. I was talking about me going to a conference last week. Don't remember. Because I remember the conference, but I want to know why I was bringing it up. Because I was going to make that just to be a separate YouTube video. How do you open a business? Ed Gallon, how do you open a business? You go to a bank and you show them all your business documents. So whenever you register your business, all you do is go to a bank, and depending on how you have registered yourself, whether you are a sole proprietor or some different tax structure in terms of a corporation, S Corp, LLC, taxed as whatever, you will have that paperwork. And don't forget, of course, your federal EIN and all this other stuff. And I'll touch on that, but going back to what Ed was saying, and then once you have all that paperwork, you just go to a bank and you let them know that you want to open up a business bank account. Nothing difficult about that. Wealthy to Candle said something about credit and don't want to use credit because they don't want to be the slave to the borrower. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because now I could pivot back to last week. So, on this channel, I talk a lot about that. It depends on your level um, of understanding when it comes to personal finance. Many people have been taught that debt is the devil, debt is bad, especially if you are a Dave Ramsey follower, you and Susie Orman, you really think debt is bad. It's a bad thing. And it is bad for those who do not have um the sophisticated understanding of how and how debt works. If you only know debt to work one particular way, then you are going to think debt is bad. Now, debt is bad if you're only using it for consumer debt. What do I mean by that? Consumer debt. Want to buy a new TV, want to pay for a trip, want to buy clothes, want to buy shoes. That's all consumer debt. You can't leverage that. None of those items, and I just named a few, is going to produce income for you. But if you use debt to be able to leverage, I wanted to do a whole separate video on credit is for acquisition. It's for acquisition and is not for useless spending. And what do I mean by that? That is where I wanted to go into it. I'm not going to really go into it that much in this video, but I want to talk more about what I got exposed to over last weekend in regards to credit and debt. And so, but once again, you have to be at a different level in terms of your understanding of how debt works. And it's like anything in life, if you are only at the kindergarten steps and if you are a kindergartner, no one is going to expect a kindergartner to know what a college graduate knows, or a 12th grader, or a person who is at a certain well, it goes back to Wealthy the Candle is saying that, wealth is bad. I don't believe, I mean, not what, oh, credit is bad. I don't believe credit is bad. It's only when it's been misused. I personally am a big advocate of leveraging credit. I recently had talked to someone who's a client of mine and said they were $20,000. They're trying to eliminate a $20,000 credit card. If I told you what $20,000 could possibly do in terms of set you free financially based on the information that I learned last weekend, you will look at credit totally different. And the reason why I say that is because Merrill Chandler was there. Now, who is Merrill Chandler? You may be wondering, who is Merrill Chandler? He is one of the co-founders of Lexington Law. He may not be affiliated with them now, but he was one of the co-founders. He has now broke away from Lexington Law, and now he is doing something totally different in terms of still in the credit space, but he's doing stuff more so on the funding side, on the business side, and he's dealing with individuals in the real estate space, teaching them how to leverage credit, business credit, to be able to acquire real estate or do anything in real estate. If you've looked at any of my videos this year, I've been talking about that. I have been talking about leveraging business credit to be able to acquire real estate. I actually did a video back in February where I said I helped a client who had business credit to be able to purchase real estate. So credit's not bad. It's just that many people have used it for the wrong things, for the wrong consumption. And so when they've plagued by the burden of debt and they can't get rid of the debt burden, now they think debt is bad. But it goes back to your money blueprint and being able to leverage credit to create cash flow for yourself. Because see, if you have constant cash flow coming in, then you can eliminate debt. You know, the problem is that most people are really just capped at a certain amount of income. And so when they get debt, the debt surpasses that cap of income they have. And now they're in a cycle of, I'm trying to pay this debt off, but I can't because I only got this much income coming in. And what's worse is if the income is getting lower and lower and lower. And then it gets to the point where they got more debt than they have credit. So let me see. I know there were a few questions that came up here. Now the only thing about YouTube is that I'm trying to see where they are. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Wealthy to Candle, yes, a commission based business is good because it allows you to get paid based on what you produce. And it goes back to the exchange of hours per dollars. Most people know of, I earn money based on what a person tells me I'm worth. If you say I'm worth $18 an hour, I will accept that. And then you tell me how much money I'm going to make based on the hours I work. Wealthy to Candle said a commission based business, which is true. It will pay her based on what she produces, based on her production, based on results. So if she creates results in business, she gets paid for it. So I totally agree. Let me find these questions again because on YouTube they seem to disappear. Now, I'm not one who's into speculation. It was a question, something about real estate crashing. I do believe in economic cycles. And so I believe that, um, you know, economic cycles do occur. And currently, they say that we are in an economic cycle that is, definitely going up. And we all know that when stuff goes up, it eventually goes down. Similar thing happened in '05 and '06. Constant up, incline, and eventually goes down. I mean, we talk about that in a real estate mastermind that I have here locally. Not in regards to we are predicting or people are trying to predict, because like I said, I'm not one who tries to predict the market. It's just based on economic cycles, and that's why you know you you have to prepare yourself. My parents had me uh okay, well, see, the thing is that Wealthy to Candle is that if you are now an adult over the age of 18, you have the opportunity to change all that. So Wealthy to Candle said that she grew up in a household, parents struggling. And thank you so much. I received that. You said my son is very blessed to have me. I said the same thing to him. Um because I said I wish somebody could have taught me this information I'm teaching him. A lot of times he takes that for granted. But I'm just going through. Yes, Edward said, credit is good if you know how to understand it. It's right. It's great. Yes. Neva World said use credit to buy cash flow items. You're right. As long as it is cash flowing for you, you are in a win-win situation. Yes, you right. Wealthy to Candle. Yep, consumer debt is bad. So, in Nevia World, she basically said to respond to Edward, yeah, all you need is, she's right, EIN, articles of organization, and 2 forms of ID, and you are ready to go with a business bank account. So that's all I have for you today. Like I said, hey, thank you, Rachie. Yes, I'm glad you were able to watch me here on YouTube. Um, check him out, Bruce Lipton. Good stuff. Like I said, talks a lot about mind science and why we think the way we think, especially in regards to credit, why we feel the way we feel when it comes to credit. And I kind of just wanted to touch on this, but I must save it for a separate video. I find it very odd how, I mean, it's been a while. I mean, Wealthy to Candle, you said thoughts on a millionaire fast lane. I mean, it's been a while since I've read the book. Like I said, 2012, 2013 is not a book that I always go back to. I liked it at that time. That's my daughter's name. Okay. I thought it was great. If I think it was great in regards to the online space and how to really generate passive income for you, using online marketing or what have you, because I remember that was his story, how he created these websites and how he was able to he created websites in the taxi space. It's so interesting to read the book now, because back then, Uber and Lyft wasn't really around, but to listen to that, read that story of his. So that's really the gist of what I remember. Like I said, it's a book I had to go back to, but I was able to, I've always looked at life, and I had a business mentor who shared this with me. If you can only take one thing away. So, that's good. Well, hey, there's so many books. I don't know. Maybe it's a book, keep reading it. You may be able to implement something, you may not. But I want to end with this. And I'm gonna do a separate video on what I was talking about, because I'm already at 30 minutes. Currently right now, I am sharing with people how they can rebuild their credit, eliminate debt, increase their cash flow. And I'm leveraging a system to help you to do that. If you are interested in that, I want you to go to the URL creditboost.yourmoneymentor.com. There you will find out about the system. How long should I wait to? I mean, you can do that immediately. I mean, as long as you got the DMB number and everything. I know places like Quill and Uline, you don't even need the DMB number. You can do it without it, but you get that done in Bradstreet number. If you persistent enough, you sit on the phone, you can get that number ASAP. I know some people say you have to wait, but it's just a matter of you sitting on the phone. Oh, thank you so much. I received that. Always glad to provide value. But for those who are interested in that, eliminating debt, you may have seen the videos here on my channel. Check them out. One of the products that they have is called the Smart Credit System. I did a review on it showing you that it is basically an educational suite teaching you how to improve your credit. Plus, it gives you bonus letters too. As well as I did a review on the system as a whole. You can find those videos right there on the channel. And the good thing about this program is that you can use it as a consumer, where you can just use the products, or you can use it as a business owner. And I'll touch on that really quick. Or you can use it as a business owner, whereas the company will pay you. The company, or give me 1 second, the company will pay you a commission for referring customers to it. So just so you know, do I get paid for referring people to this system? I do. If you know anything about my channel, I provide a lot of value here. So I don't have no problem with telling people that I earn a commission. So I earn a commission whether I'm referring other people products, or I earn money whether it's my own product. So I sell books. I make money. I sell credit software. I make money, classes or what have you. And now I'm leveraging this system. But you best to believe I got 300 videos here, where there's information teaching you um, different things about credit and debt that also can help you. So I have added value as well. So I don't feel bad about it. Now I had a few questions, so I'm gonna go back and read. Okay, so Nevia wanted to know, she got Coil, Uline, Granger, Office Depot. Try Amazon. Have you tried that? They will look at your credit. Um, you can get an Amazon business account, and you can get a Walmart business account. So try those. Now, unless you need more Net 30 accounts, but those are some that you can get. Um, Wealthy to Candle wanted to know about, you don't have to be broke to be humble. I was just talking about a social media meme that I put up, and it said that being humble does not mean be broke. You will find I usually see a lot of this conversation from people who struggle financially, and when they see people doing good, they always say stay humble. You have to practice humility, and a lot of that, although being humble and showing humility is great, but it doesn't mean you need to be broke. So you have to really understand and know where the person is coming from. So that's all that I was saying about that. Okay, well that's it. But yeah, Nevia, I just said try Amazon business, try Walmart business. Um and I actually will do a video if you need more Net 30 accounts. I have a resource. I'll actually do a Facebook Live. So Nevia World, please look forward. Maybe I'll do it later tonight, and I'll just give you all a few of different types of accounts you get, because they're in tiers. I got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 accounts. Of course, Net 30 accounts, none of your credit is looked at. It's just based on a paying history. And then you have some that will use your credit. Um, I'm an advocate of um, uh I'm a big advocate of leveraging your credit. So one thing about me, I'm all about get your personal credit right, which is why I'm telling you to go to creditboost.com, yourmoneymentor.com, so you can get your personal credit right. And plus you can earn some extra money. I want you to go there to get your personal credit right. As you are getting your personal credit right and you are at least in the 600 range, in the 600s, you can start to leveraging that and get business credit. I'm a advocate of that. I am not an advocate of you destroying your personal credit. Will not take responsibility to rebuild it. I understand things happen and you're bad and you may have bad credit, but I'm an advocate of things happen. That's good. Now it's time to face the situation. Let's get your personal credit right. Once you get your personal credit right, we're going to leverage that credit. We're going to get you some business credit. So, so I'm not an advocate of telling people screw your personal credit, don't worry about it, and just try to get business credit. Because my thing is all you're doing is trying to swim uphill. Swim upstream. If you are truly saying, I'm trying to create time freedom for myself, I'm trying to create financial freedom for myself, I'm trying to get away from robbing Peter to pay Paul. Wealthy the Candle said a lot during this broadcast about, being able to gain financial prosperity and get away from the conversations that she's been brought up with in terms of you got to work hard for money, you got to exchange hours for dollars. She just put on there, she comes from a family of employees. All that stuff is good that you know that. If you know that you come from a blueprint of that, All those things that I said. Financial hardship is the norm. Financial setbacks is the norm. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. Just trying to get enough. Um, you know, Nevia's world 634 is real iffy. It's a toss up. My thing is this: I tell people get past at least 660, 670. 643, I would just hate for you to apply and you get turned down, because 643 is on what report. Because if a person got 643, they may be lower six. So I would say work on that score. What's holding that score back? Is it utilizations? Lower your utilizations. Is it derogatory information? Let's get rid of that. No excuses. Come on, we're in the third quarter of the year, 2018. Um, that's all right. I mean, Wealthy the Candle. If that's, hey, my thing is this. All right, that's your mom's story. But what is your story? Because if mom is that age, then that means you're probably 20 something. So now that's mom's story. But you got to create your own story. And as you create your own story and you help yourself, now you can go back and help mom. See, the problem what happens is that we're having our own problems and we're trying to help other people. So I understand that's your mom's story. But if you are over the age 18, you're now in the time and place to create your own story. Wealthy the Candle, make sure you go to creditboost.com. Creditboost.yourmoneymentor.com. I'll remember to put a link under this video once it processed. If you really are looking for change. But going back to Nevia's world, that score is a little iffy. So what could you do to work on it? In regards to what I was saying, and it's fourth quarter. What did you do different? Did you come into 2018 saying you was going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this, and still haven't did it? If you've been working on your credit yourself and you hit a brick wall and you need help, now is the time to get the help. Now is the time. So many people have been just looking at my videos. My thing is this. I have over 300 something videos live. I have 600 on the channel. Some that you can't even see because they're private. But 300, I believe, are live. I provide information that's there that could possibly help you. Now, yes, I do have some paid programs. I got a ton of free stuff. Just got to dig in and get to work. And then I got some stuff where you pay, you get some hand holding. You get some questions asked. And the best thing I have going now is the creditboost.yourmoneymentor.com. The reason why is because it allows me to still be able to help you all who need help with the personal credit, but knowing that, and I've said this in other videos, that I'm trying to have a higher level of conversation in terms of helping people build that business credit. That's why I said, let's get that personal credit right so we can start getting this business credit. Start getting these trade lines. Let's start getting these business lines of credit. Let's start getting a business, creating some income so we can get some real income coming in. So that's what I'm really concentrating on, and I'm doing it in the place of real estate. Let me see. Last question. I'm not judging. Okay, well, you know what? That's their story, Wealthy the Candle. You can't knock them. It's time for you to create your own story. They did the best with what they had. So don't judge mom, aunties, and uncles. They did the best with what they have. If you're over the age of 18, it's time to get to work. Get to work, get the information, make change, and now you can go back to them. One of the realest statements I've ever heard is from Reverend Ike. And although he's dead and gone, but his legacy lives on, and he has they had content on his YouTube channel all the time from videos that he had from the 70s or what have you, early 70s. And he always says that the best thing that you can do for the poor The best thing that you can do for the poor and those who are struggling is to not be one of them. And pretty much what he's saying is go out there, make money, get wealthy, or get some type of financial stability, whatever that may be for you, because what's wealthy for me may not be wealthy for you, and then so on and so on. And once you gain the knowledge, then you can go back and you can help mom, and you can help auntie, and you can help uncle, and now you can show them a different way. But you can't try to make change for yourself and then want to change them, because it goes back to the programming, which I talked to you about, what I talked about early in this video. They have been programmed. It's just like planting a seed. We all know that if we put a seed in the ground, we're not going to get no plant the next day. It's got to be watered. Many people have been watering seeds of poverty for years, for generations and generations and generations, just watering seeds of poverty, financial setbacks, financial hysteria, just all types of stuff. And now you're trying to put this beautiful flower of wealth and prosperity and abundance and in a field of weeds. And the only way that you can do that is you got to dig all them weeds up. You got to dig them weeds up. It's just like anything with planting and harvesting. It's fall now. It's harvest season. You got to dig all them weeds up. You got to cultivate that ground. As you cultivate that ground, then you plant them seeds. Then when you water them seeds, you have to, when you plant that seed, you got to water the seed. Then as you water the seeds and you tend to it, the beautiful flowers bloom. And now you don't have the field of weeds no more. So that is what many of us come from. Even myself. I'm not one to be condescending. I don't come from wealth and all this other stuff. Yes, my mom was financially responsible with what she was able to do with the knowledge that she had. But there were a lot of other stuff that I had witnessed. So even for myself, I had to clear them weeds out. And I understand this message ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't ready for this message because they got so much bad programming in them that they just don't see it. So the best advice that I can give you, Wealthy the Candle, now it's time for you to change. You're over 18, you know, like I said, it's time for you to make a change. I understand the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You bringing up all these things. But everybody, please go to creditboost.yourmoneymentor.com and I will talk to you in the next video. Thank you so much for your questions. Thanks for watching me. I do not take it for granted. And please like and share this. If you first time you've come to my channel, please subscribe. Like I said, I have over 300 videos here in regards to credit. I also have a free book that I can offer you. You go to free book at yourmoneymentor.com. I don't take this time for you for granted. I've been on here for 48 minutes and look forward to talking to you in the next video. Bye-bye.